Hey hobby friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be starting a new series sharing my painting process for my Death Guard army. For those of you who have been with me for a little while now, this is going to be very similar to my World Eater painting series. And if you're wondering where World Eaters episode 3 is, don't worry, it's coming. Let's go ahead and run through the list. First, my army is led by Typhus with his little Nurgling friend. Next, we have a Lord of Contagion leading a squad of 3 Deathshroud Terminators. Next, I have a squad of 10 Plague Marines, all with various ranged and close combat weapons. They are going to be led by the Tallyman. Then I have a squad of 10 Poxwalkers, a squad of 5 Blightlord Terminators, again with different weapon options. This awesomely painted Chaos Lord in Terminator armor that a buddy of mine painted for me. And to round out the list, I have 2 photoed blow drones with the twin spewers. And that's my 1,000-point list. I did paint these plague bearers not too long ago, and so I'm going to match the same basing colors. But first, I have a couple models that don't have any basing texture on them. 1 Terminator and 1 photoed blow drone. Photoed blow drone also needs a little plastic surgery, getting that spewer on. So I'm going to go ahead and get those going. For the basing texture, I'm using this Vallejo Diorama Effects ground texture, followed by a mixture of fine sand with slightly larger rocks, just to add some variety. I'm doing a slight pivot to my Death Guard army momentarily because me and a few friends are playing in a local doubles league. We're each bringing 1,000 points, and what you see here is 1,000 points of Death Guard. Once that's done, we're going to get to painting the bases. We're starting here with Pro Acryl's Warm Brown as a base coat. Next, we're going to use Pro Acryl Burnt Orange, and we're going to dry brush this on. It's more like a dry brush stipple. And then the last color is Pro Acryl's Yellow Ochre. Again, more of a dry brush stipple, and just kind of building up some uneven color along the base. And lastly, we'll take Pro Acryl's Satin Black and go ahead and edge rim the base. I'll go ahead and apply the tufts later on, just so that they're not obstructing any details of the model, but overall, that looks pretty close. I do have a few models here that I previously painted, but I don't want to repaint them. I'm just going to repaint their bases. The point of me doing a video series painting this army is to make the process of batch painting less daunting. Those of us who have painted armies or large amount of models at once can probably understand how daunting the process gets at some point, especially when you're painting the same thing over and over again, like power armor. Now, the thing I find cool about painting the bases early on in the painting process is that now the army feels like they're on the same battlefield together. It's a really quick and easy way to give a sort of cohesive look to your army, regardless of what painting stage they're in. And here's that Chaos Lord and Terminator armor up close. That cape looks amazing. Next, I'm going to add a pop of color with Pro Acryl's Royal Purple. I'm using this color for all of the cloaks, loincloths, and any other fabric on the model. I really love the vibrancy of this purple color, and I'm hoping that it pops on the tabletop, but also gives a cohesive look to the rest of the army. This is one of those models that I previously painted to completion. I don't want to repaint the entire model. However, I do want to add some minor updates so that it still matches with the current state of my army. So let's go ahead and paint all those red capes purple. And I think that looks really cool actually. And just like that, all the purple is done. And honestly, I think it looks sick. It's interesting how Typhus is one of the biggest models I have, but he has like the least amount of purple. Tallyman, I'm loving this purple color. Now I'm going to use Pro Acryl's copper color for all of the trim details and any sort of secondary metallic details. I use this color for all the bells and also some of the larger tanks that the models are carrying. In my last vlog update about my work life and hobby balance, I did mention that I wanted to do a couple other series that went along with my World Eater series. Death Guard being my second. And I'll probably do either Chaos Space Marines or Emperor's Children as a potential third. Next we have Pro Acryl's Dark Silver, and this will be used for all of the primary metal details such as blades, gun barrels, chain links, chain mail, and any other smaller metallic details. And I'm also using it for the turbine blades on the photo blow drones. Next up, I'm going to use Acryl's Khaki. This color was going to be used as a secondary armor color. I decided that I didn't want my army just to be pure Death Guard green. I wanted to add some color variations. Part of the reason why I wanted to do this is just to add some variety amongst my miniatures so that I'm not painting the exact same thing for every single miniature. This will also add a little bit of interest to the way the army looks overall. For the Deathshot Terminators, I chose to paint their shoulder pads with this secondary color. For the Plague Marines, I used this khaki color to paint various armor details. Some of the models I'm painting their knee pads, some of the models I'm painting some shoulder pads. Other models may have their helmets painted this secondary color. I've noticed in Space Marine chapters, there are some chapters that also have this sort of randomized secondary detail, and that's kind of where this idea came from. I did the same sort of idea with the Foetid Blow drones. This drone, I'm painting the front armor and the, I guess you can call it like a mouth or jaw armor, basically the clamshell underneath. I'm painting those two pieces this secondary khaki color, and on the second Foetid Blow drone, I'm painting just the turbine housing. After these base coats are down on the model, I mother the entire model in Agrax Earthshade to give it that kind of grimy sort of look to it. I don't know if I'm going to do that going forward on all of my models, but at this point, I know that I do want to do it on a handful of them. Next, I'm going to be using Coal Black to add even more variety to my army by using this as an additional secondary armor color. This will be put on any of the models that did not receive the khaki color previously. The inspiration behind black as a secondary color came from another sub-legion of the Death Guard called the Purge. The Purge are mainly the Death Guard green color, or actually I think it's a brighter green color, and they have black as their secondary color, and I thought the aesthetic of that looked really cool. I also used this black color to paint this ribbed area on the back of some of their leg armor, as well as vents, cables, base colors for weapons. I also painted the fly body of this Terminator black. Next, we're going to paint some of the flesh colors, and I'm going to use Acryl's Advanced Flesh Tone for this. This will go over all of the tentacles, maggots, any sort of growths like this thing coming out of this dude's leg, and any other sort of like fleshy or demon kind of bits. As well as this demon's tongue. And the fleshy bits around this mouth. I actually went back in and added a little bit more of this flesh color around this face just to kind of help it feel more like it's alive. Another reason for doing the painting series is so that I'm able to hop from project to project whenever I feel like I need a break from my current army. I also painted some of the wires with this flesh color as if to make it feel like part flesh, part machine. And this seems like a perfect ending point for episode 1 of the Death Guard series. The army is practically battle ready at this point. I'd be happy playing a game with the army looking like this. I think they look great. I love the variety that these secondary armor colors give to the army. It just makes everything look so unique, which I really enjoy. But that is it for now. 1,000 points, ready to go. This will be an ongoing series, similar to my World Eater series, until the entire collection is completed. Thank you all so much for watching this video and staying until the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, do press like. I really do appreciate it. And if you're interested in following this journey, painting and collecting my Death Guard army, please do subscribe. Thanks again so much for being here, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Farewell, hobby friends.